Hello, Gremlins. How you all doing? Welcome to another Gorms show. I'm your host as ever, Gormy. So it's Saturday night tonight. It's instead of Friday. It's been more than a week since we saw you last. Hope everyone's been well. Here in Edinburgh, it's been a wee bit up and down weather-wise. I thought it was summer, then it thought it was winter. I almost went back to hibernate. It was terrible. Hope it was nicer where you are. I had an email this week from Jeannie McCall, and she asked, Gormy, when you were wee, what did you want to grow up to be? And well, Jeannie, when I was wee, my mother told me that I could be anyone I wanted to be, but it turns out that identity theft is a crime. Well, folks, that's enough for me. I hope you enjoy the show. Don't forget to hit the like button and keep your emails coming to thegorms@gmail.com. See you all later. Bye.
Good evening. How's everyone doing?
Hello.
Wonderbar.
Welcome to the Gorms live stream.
Here again, not on a Friday, on a Saturday. Hopefully that wasn't too much of an issue for everybody.
Terrible issue.
Terrible for you. Could you not make it almost?
Well, we were at Pit Meddon, weren't we?
Would have loved to have been here, but the Pit Meddon tatty hunch had to go ahead, the knee punch, as you say. Folks, if you just tuned in, which I'm sure you have, then it is Saturday, the 1st of May, 2021, and you're watching Gorm Vision, the hit new Marvel DC crossover. I'm your Saturday night messiah, the Saturday night bringer of justice. My name is Stewart. I'm the Gorms, the whole shooting caboodle, and with me is a couple of the background members of the band. So I want to first of all introduce you to a good friend of mine, long-term companion. He's been holding me close on the cold nights of lockdown. Jack Weir, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me as part of the Gorms Saturday night Messiah disciple group.
It's absolutely your pleasure. It's no problem at all. And of course, no evening like this would be complete without my big brother, my old brother, very old brother, someone who has never let me down, who in my hour of need lifted me up just like an angel. He was the one that I let go as the Titanic sank and everybody wept and hoped he'd come back. And he has come back. Behind him is an interesting looking sort of, it's like a,
It's a bit pixelated. Could you not have got a better picture?
I'm there, Jack. I'm in this place with a maple. What do you mean picture? Background? What?
Duncan Knight. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
It's a maypole, is it?
It's a maypole. I tried to look up more, but nobody seems to have information other than people dance round them on the 1st of May. So there you go.
It's topical.
Yeah, in that Nicolas Cage film, they were dancing around the maypole, weren't they? Singing Rattling Dog.
Nicolas Cage?
That's right.
No,
and,
this film.
There he is, Nicolas Cage.
I got to say, I prefer the original.
Yeah.
The original?
Yes, it was a film before Nicolas Cage. You should check that one out, man. It's quite good.
Oh, like a based on a Nicolas Cage one. That's quite people, I guess. Well, I will have a look at that, folks. I hope you're not going to tune into The Wicker Man. Instead, you're going to stick around with us for the next hour and a half because we have quite a show lined up for you. If this is the first time you've tuned in, you've come to the wrong place. But now that you're here, we're a band from a small backwater part of the world called Scotland, which at one point was famed for its inventions and engineering, but today is just famed for its intelligent and handsome gentlemen, 3 of which are not really here, but we'll do our best to make up for them. They're all out and about now because Scotland has started to reopen. There's been over here something called the coronavirus pandemic, which is like a real bad infection that's come in from Italy or France or something. And it's really swept everyone off their feet here in Scotland, laid us low for a while. So instead of doing our usual, which is performing music wherever we can, playing great traditional Scottish music, we've instead been cooped up in various different prisons. So this is my cell here that I'm stuck in at the moment at a kennel in the far north of Scotland. Duncan has obviously fled to warmer climes, looks like the south of England. Well, what is the building behind you?
I'm not actually sure. I was trying to find somebody to ask.
Is it on
but
fire?
they're all too busy dancing around this thing. I'm just kind of in the middle, you know.
Looks like it's got barbed wire on the top of it.
It's not a prison. I don't know why you would think that.
And Jack, you're in the Arctic studio, I imagine, this week.
Yeah, they locked the door on me, so it is still a prison. But yeah, I've got 2 members of Wet 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 in here with me. I won't say which ones, but let's just say.
So surely it's only Wet Wet.
Exactly. Well,
Or
there's
did I
more
just
than
steal your
3.
punchline there?
There's more than 3, so probably it's more like Wet Wet.
Great. Well, I hope the recording goes well.
I won't say which member, but I will just say his voice is beautiful.
Oh, I'm sure it is, and I hope he's still staying clean.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, things are picking up there in the heroin-fueled Arctic studio. Of course, Duncan, even though you're out there in the field today for the Maple celebrations, great to have you as always in the field. I wonder if you're still plugged in, though, as you always are. You're an internet kind of guy.
Of course.
You're always
browsing
the onions.
Before this, can I just say thanks very much to David Lee Smith for sending us £20. That's absolutely amazing.
Much, David.
Thanks again for all the support, David. And folks, if you are watching the show, I'm sure you'll be amazed to find that all the information you've been bombarded with so far, you're thinking, well, where's the advertising? How does this work? Well, it's all done by donations. So it's a sort of new way of doing media and technology. Instead of paying a monthly subscription for something you don't like, you just pay for what you don't like as it goes. So please, I think the number is up on the screen. You can phone in and donate to us. I think that's how it works. And Jack will be processing those payments in the Arctic studio. So any support you can send in, much appreciated. Church tomorrow, of course. So it's all going to go to a good cause. But Duncan, to get back to you in the field, any information coming in the airwaves and on the botnet?
Yes, we have some Gormlings in the house. Ken Longfellow says, hello Gormers and Gormlins, how are things in Old Reekie these days? Daniel Speed says, happy Saturday to all Gorms and Gormlins. And also, spending too much time in Gorms live streams. Earn myself a top fan badge, haha.
Bring your volume down a tad, Duncan, sorry. Just a little bit.
All the way to 0. Eileen Mullins says, hi Gormlins. Daniel Sunday's in the house. He says, what's the deal up in Scotland? You're not allowed to leave your homes. What's the situation?
We're allowed to leave our homes now, but we just don't want to now. No, we do go out. We're not allowed to meet. We're not allowed to meet indoors with more than 2 households or something. I really don't know, but yeah, we can actually.
We can meet up outside when the weather's all right.
There's your answer.
Might be waiting a while.
Aye.
Well, thanks, Daniel. It's good to hear from you. I hope things are going well for you over in Reutlingen.
Reutlingen.
I think it's Reutlingen.
Caroline Lee Smith says, hello from Scotland. We made it here. So glad to be back. Well, glad you made it. Riza Glass says, hello from Massachusetts.
Oh, hello, Riza. But should we maybe read out a little Facebook message we got from David and Caroline, and then I think that'll link us into our first song, because I think it's about time to get some music on the go here.
Yes, that's right. So David and Caroline sent us a Facebook message earlier. They say, hi lads. Greetings, Gorms, Gormlins and Gormy. It's the 1st of May, and now that lockdown measures are easing in the UK, we have made it over the Scottish border and are staying in, yes, the Gorms. That's the Cairngorms, in a wee place you may have heard of called Killiecrankie. Our son Connor and his wife Goda live on the braes of Killiecrankie, referred to in the song that you sing so well. Thank you.
Duncan, lead vocalist on that song.
I know, I just thought I'd accept the praise there. Who was I? To put it in context, we have sent a picture taken today from their garden. Behind us you can see the fields where Dundee's Jacobite armies descended on Mackay's redcoat soldiers. and the tree line just above our heads is the spot where the battle took place. David has performed a reenactment for you at the battle scene. Also, a wee message from the very spot where Dundee was sadly lost his life. Hope you like it.
Well, cheers.
Big shout.
Oh, you're still going?
Sorry. A big shout out to Connor and Goda. All this is to ask you if you would please play the Braes o' Killiecrankie, Caroline and David. Well, thank you.
Well, I just
and
showed
hello to Connor and Goda.
Yes, hello. I just showed the picture there, so that's them in the countryside. And now I'm going to see, because this is technology. This is pushing me a bit far here, technologically speaking. But let's just see if we can get the video from David going. Is it possible? There it is. All right, the first one. Here we go. You ready?
Yes.
You can take her Friday nights, but you can't take her Gorms!
That's intense, David. That's up there with Mel Gibson. Thanks for that. And let's see our second one.
For Bonnie Dundee!
For Bonnie Dundee. Well, thanks for that, David. You've got your shield and your sword there.
It's a massive sword, I have to say.
Fantastic. Well, I hope you're having a great night tonight up in Killiecrankie, and I hope you enjoy the song.
Yes, here we go. Killiecrankie.
Oh, war you born, say Roland, or war you born, say Branchio, or war you born, say Roland. Come ye by Killiecrankie, oh. And ye had been where I been, you would have been second to you. And ye had seen what I seen by the Braes o' Killiecrankie, oh. I fought at land, I fought at sea, I'd pay my foot, my hand to you. But I've met the devil and Dundee by the Braes o' Killiecrankie, oh. And ye had been where I been, you would have been second to you. And ye had seen what I seen by the Braes o' Killiecrankie, oh. The ball picked her, found we of her, and Claver's got a cranky, oh. And I had fed on a foglet by the Braes o' Killiecrankie, oh. And ye had been where I been, you would have been second to you. And ye had seen what I seen by the Braes o' Killiecrankie, oh. Oh, fie, Mackay, what guard you lie in the bush ayont the Branchie, oh. You'd better kiss King Willie's roof than come by Killiecrankie, oh. There's nae shame, there's nae shame, there's nae shame tae swankie, oh. And the soon slays on a foe's braes, and and the deals at Killiecrankie, oh. And ye had been where I hae been, you would not been second to you. And ye had seen what I hae seen by the braes o' Killiecrankie, oh. Hello, people of Audio CD world. I'd like to share with you a song here about an English general called John Cope. John Cope, he came up to Edinburgh with the intentions of conquering it, taking it over, keeping it for himself. He was to fight a man called Bonnie Prince Charlie. The battle would take place at the Preston Pans. Now there's a power plant at Preston Pans now, but that wasn't there at the time. But by the time the battle was done, the pans were covered in the blood of dead Englishmen. For John Cope was so cowardly that on the day of battle he fled, and he left his men to be beaten, battered, and brutally murdered at the hands of the Scotsmen. So we like to remember this great Scottish victory, one of the few. The song, Johnny Cope.
Aye, the braes of Killiecrankie. 1689, Jack. 1689.
What a song.
1689.
That's quite a long time ago.
But I'll remember it like it was yesterday.
Duncan, before I share with you one of the incredible books that I brought in this week for our book club, do we have any messages that we need to get to from the drive time viewers?
Okay, let's see, where did we get? Ken Longfellow's asking, do you have to self-quarantine?
I think he's
But I
asking
think that was actually
Caroline.
he was asking Caroline, sorry. Anyway, good question. I don't know.
Don't
Don't worry.
I actually don't think
The
you
police-
do. If you come from England, I don't think you do.
The police have been dispatched. Don't worry, Ken. It's under control. Get that sword out. Get ready.
David Lee Smith said, hello, welcome lads, and I'm tuning in from Killiecrankie. Well, we have played that for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Pascal Battaglia says, hello from rainy France.
Hello.
Hello.
Bonjour.
We had rain, a lot of rain this week. We did mention we might go out and record some tracks for you during the week, but the weather was not good enough, unfortunately.
We met up outside last Saturday and it was quite nice, and then we were going to do some recording in the week and it started being rainy.
Yeah, it was a bit rubbish, unfortunately. Anyway, Ken says, David and Caroline, such a fine, handsome couple. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Caroline saying, thanks for playing, have a brilliant time. We are literally sat on the braes right now.
Amazing.
Oh, beautiful.
Hopefully the weather's nice then. Ken says, great song, it's one of Duncan's favourites. It is, but I mean, they're all my favourites, aren't they?
Is there any
Right,
that you don't like?
You
You better not say, because someone might request it.
Better not say. Speaking of requests, that's all we've got. Oh no. Oh, Johanna is here. She said, evening, hope is all well with you guys. Well, it is indeed, hope is
too.
well with you. We did, speaking of requests, get another request. We had an email from Mark Johnston.
Ah,
He says, afternoon lads, can I request Finnegan's Wake and McPherson's Rant for the stream tomorrow, please? The streams are a highlight of the week for me out here in Saudi. Hopefully we'll be back in July, and by then my wife Kelly and I will catch you in the Ensign. Glad you sorted out playing back there. See you soon. P.S. The Kaaba stone has a stream flowing under it that contains Zamzam water, which is taken worldwide to family members that can't take part in the Hajj. Stewart asked a few weeks ago. So there you go, Stewart.
Great. Always love to hear a little update from the Kaaba Stone. Always been interested in the Kaaba Stone. Possibly from outer space. So I've always been interested with that sort of stuff. Although recently, I guess they're a bit less interested in that idea. A lot of people say no, it probably isn't a meteorite. But certainly an interesting one. The black cube, you see a lot of this around the world, these black cubes. And the one in Saudi, obviously a very famous one. One at the Twin Towers, I quite like the two black stones that they put up in replace of the Twin Towers after that tragedy. Very interesting. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to segue into a book that I brought along. Would you mind, Jack? Is that okay?
Yeah, all right.
Great. You're both so excited. So last week, of course, I diverted from normally the books are a bit more wide-ranging subjects, but I did announce last week that I was going to do more books about musicals and things. So
I liked
that
the
got
Bat
a lot
Out of
of
Hell.
positive.
Bat Out of Hell, the musical, was a good one.
We should
So
have
not
put that
just
on
from-
instead of the stream.
Yeah, probably. But not just from you two. The feedback really from viewers on my live stream has been overwhelming. People are just so excited about that. So we are going to have a little bit of books about musicals again tonight. But at the same time, on my Extractor fans, there was an outcry. A lot of people really, really upset that I wasn't kind of focusing back on something that, you know, I've become very, very famous for over the lockdown, which is reviews of books which are catering to an audience which is away from the mainstream. You know, you look around you these days, it's very hard to find people that are going to uncover sort of the reality of what's going on. For everybody, it's a case of, oh, we just believe whatever we're told. But as you know, I'm on your side. I'm the same as you. You know, it used to be, yeah, you got a tinfoil hat on, you're a weirdo, but now, you know, you're still a weirdo, but there's a lot more people.
Now
in the
you're a
same place as
weirdo
you. So,
if you don't believe in Bigfoot.
well, Bigfoot's a bit far. I mean, it's a bit like giant red-headed men in the Gobi Desert, isn't it? So, but on the subject of that sort of thing, I got a real classic for you
I
today.
used to have that book.
And now you don't.
Now you don't.
I have it. So this is, of course, the very, very famous Book of the Unexplained. And this is volume 1. So it's written by this lady up at the top here. But really, we know that the book isn't written by her. It's written most likely by Chris Carter. And quite likely, he had some input from two of everybody's favorite paranormal investigators. So that's Fox Mulder, who's played by David Duchovny, who's famous from the Red Shoe Diaries, and also Gillian Anderson, who's really famous from the FHM magazine, where she was wearing her underpants. So this is a great book
She
for
played
any
Margaret
fan
Thatcher
of the,
recently on a show. There you go.
She played Margaret Thatcher as well. She was really good at that. She's really good at everything, really, Gillian Anderson. She's the best fit of the X-Files, I think. So just to give you a quick summary that I prepared, with exclusive input from the cast and creators of the X-Files and remarkable revelations from the world's leading investigators, scientists, and officials, the X-Files Book of the Unexplained is a book no X-Files fan or inquisitive reader can afford to miss. And it hits it out the ballpark. This is one that I've been saving for a while, just in case I couldn't find a good book. This is a cracking one here. Currently, Russia is in the thrall of a healer come marketing whiz known as Zuna. And that'll be from the famous episodes Tunguska, of course. Loads of cool illustrations of monsters and stuff like that. And, of course, lots of good quotes as well, not just from experts in the field of the paranormal, such as this guy, but also quotes from the episodes as well. For example, here, guess who said this, okay? The preliminary medical exam revealed quite abnormal development of the muscular and skeletal systems. Who said that?
Scully.
Scully. Absolutely right. And there's a good picture there as well. Look at her.
All right.
Good.
Are there
Really
any
good
quotes
performance
from
at the
Skinner?
There is, of course, quotes for Skinner. I didn't actually line any of those up. I did line up some others by Duncan, your favorite character
Oh,
in the
the
X-Files.
favourite character's got to be the man with the cigarettes.
Cigarette smoking man.
Cigarette smoking man, exactly.
Jack, who's your favorite character?
Skinner, of course. But I quite like those sort of weird hacker guys that they meet up with sometimes. There's 3 of them.
The lone gunman.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. One of my favorite episodes. This is great, skin shedding and stuff. One of my favorite episodes of the X-Files is actually not an X-Files episode at all, but it's the pilot episode of The Lone Gunman. It was a great one, and I'd really recommend anyone watches it. Came out in 2001, and it's about the lone gunman having to save some buildings which were going to come under attack from Arabic terrorists that had hijacked some airplanes and were going to fly them into buildings. It's a really interesting episode, and if you know anything about conspiracies, and if you know anything about Chris Carter, you'd be delighted to see that he was not just a great TV show maker, but also had a bit of the gift, if you know what I mean, when it came to predicting things that might just happen. So that's all I've got on that book for you. As I say, Book of the Unexplained. I had a look on Amazon. It's actually really, really cheap because people aren't too into the X-Files anymore. So you can get it super cheap on Amazon. And yeah, it's definitely worth getting. If you're Amazon Prime, if you're Jeff, we can advertise Amazon, can't we? I think so.
Are you getting paid for it?
No, of course not.
No, I'm not.
Amazon don't pay people.
Not at all.
Very much.
Not at all. $15 an hour. But if you do get a copy of this, make sure you have a look at the top review, because as always, as a great book lover, I'm going to be there with the top review. I give it 5 stars, incidentally. It's a really nice book, top to finish.
Just
great gift for anyone.
Just wondering, how do you feel about the sister show to the X-Files, Millennium, with what was his name?
Bishop.
Yeah.
Bishop from Aliens.
Yeah, Lance Henriksen, that's it.
Lance Henriksen. I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was quite scary, quite adult.
Yeah. Better than the X-Files then.
Didn't have the same... It didn't have the theme tune, though.
Was there an episode where it crossed over?
There was indeed, yeah. It was a really good one. Yeah, it was great. I mean, Lance Henriksen was excellent. Okay, so I'll give you this, Jack. When Mulder was, spoiler alert here, folks, if you haven't watched the X-Files yet, you might return over to the news for a wee bit. But when Mulder was abducted and he went missing and Scully was pregnant, absolutely awesome, they brought in another couple of investigators and Mulder and Scully were kind of out of the picture.
That's when it lost me a little bit.
Yeah, Terminator 2 was in it.
You're thinking of T-1000, Liquid Man, Arpats.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arpats was in it for a season. He was actually really, really good. And the lady that was in it was quite good as well, but she had massive pants to fill because Gillian Anderson was obviously brilliant as Scully. So yeah, at that point, Millennium probably was a bit better. But Krychek was in it quite a lot then as well. Really good show anyway.
How many viewers have we lost there?
A few.
I guess we'll play some music then.
Play some music, aye.
So we better do the, since we got asked for the request, let's play Finnegan's Wake.
Finnegan's Wake.
Here we are.
Finnegan lived in Walking Street, a gentle Irishman mighty odd. He had a brogue both rich and sweet, and to rise in the world he rode on a horse. You see, he'd a sort of a tippler's way. For the love of the liquor, all Tim was born. And I help him on his way each day. He'd a drop of the whiskey every morn. Whack for the lawn out and shut hard around the floor. Your trotters shake. Wasn't that the truth? I told you, let's have fun at Finnegan's Wake. Finnegan woke up rather full. His head was heavy, his legs did shake. He fell from the ladder, he banged his skull. They carried him home, his corpse to wake. They wrapped him up in a nice clean sheet, laid him flat upon the bed. A bottle of whiskey on his feet and a barrel of porter on his head. Whack for the lawn out and shut hard around the floor. Your trotters shake. Wasn't that the truth? I told you, let's have fun at Finnegan's Wake. His friends assembled at the wake. Mrs. Finnegan called for lunch. She brought out tea and cake, then piped tobacco and a whiskey punch. Biddy McBride began to cry. A lovely corpse did you ever see? Tim Avenue, why did you die? Shut your gulp, says Paddy McGee. Whack for the lawn out and shut hard around the floor. Your trotters shake. Wasn't that the truth? I told you, let's have fun at Finnegan's Wake. Maggie Maloney joined right in. Biddy says she, you're wrong, I'm sure. Biddy punched her in the gob and sent her sprawling on the floor. A civil war did then engage, woman for woman and man for man. Shillelagh law was all the rage, and a row and a ruction then began. Whack for the lawn, out dance your partner round the floor, your trotter's sick. Wasn't that the truth? I told you lots of fun at Finnegan's Wick. Mickey Maloney ducked his head as a bottle of whiskey flew at him. It missed and landing on the bed, the whiskey spills out over Tim. Oh, see how now Tim Finnegan's rising. Al Finnegan's rising from the bed. He says, "Listen, whiskey, oh, by Jesus, thunder and hell, did you think I'm dead? Whack for that on out, dance your partner round the floor, your trotter's sick. Wasn't that the truth? I told you, let's have fun at Finnegan's Wick. Whack for that on out, dance your partner round the floor, your trotter's sick. Wasn't that the truth? I told you, let's have fun at Finnegan's Wick. Ba-ba-da-da-da." By the mid-1820s, the North Atlantic had been fished almost dry, so a fleet of ships was dispatched for Peterhead to head all the way up to Melville Bay, just off the coast of Greenland. There was 25 boats went up there, and they made good time. They arrived a week ahead of schedule. Unfortunately, the icebergs had arrived that time as well. The boats, they encountered some severe problems up there in the bay, and as a result of that, only one boat made it back. This next song, it was written in 1828, 2 years before the ill-fated expedition set off. And it was actually written by one of the fellows that was present on one of the boats which did not return. The song tells of the wonders and the success and riches that they'll be bringing back. Of course, as happy as this song is, it is tinged with a bittersweet taste, knowing that the man that wrote the song, he never actually returned. This is The Bonnie Ship, the Diamond.
Welcome.
We're back.
Hope you had some whiskey along with that song.
Hope you enjoyed Finnegan's Wick.
As is traditional. Just don't mind me while I sip my water here.
So, how's all the Gormlins doing tonight? And Gormers and Gormkin?
Everyone seems well. David Lee, I'll go back to the chat. David Lee Smith was saying, "Now let's have Bonnie Dundee." Ken said, "A man's a man for all that." There's some song requests there.
Well,
David Lee Smith says, "Trust no one."
The truth is out there.
Truth is out there.
Don't trust yourself.
Johanna Jorstad is asking, do you guys have any favourite mysteries or legends or myths or conspiracy theories? I'm sure we have got plenty to talk about here.
Watch the past 10 streams.
Don't get me started on the Paul is dead conspiracy.
Oh, don't get him started on the Paul is dead conspiracy.
No, he's got books and books and books about it.
It's your favourite though, right?
That's my favourite. It's probably the most, it completely changed my perception, really, about everything. And that's where I form the basis of all my understanding of the world.
Of reality, okay, yeah. You could do worse. Many wars have started for less.
Indeed.
The war of the Paul is dead conspiracy.
The believers versus
what about you,
the
Duncan?
non-believers. I don't know if I have a favourite conspiracy theory, but I remember when I was young, I really liked the legend of Odysseus trying to return home after the Trojan War.
That's my favourite conspiracy, actually.
What are you talking about? It's clearly a historical fact.
My favourite is the Mandela effect, and I spend about an hour every day researching the Mandela effect. And just when I think I've got it, when I figured it out, it sneaks away from me every single time. But that's definitely my favourite. Amongst many, the Mandela effect. Something going on there. There was quite a lot of conspiracies actually in the past year, which I would have put as my favourite, but they've all now turned out to be true. So they're no longer conspiracy theories. So I got to move them off to the side, I guess. But I hope that answers the question. It was Johanna, was it?
It was indeed.
Okay.
Now, I think following on from your book chat. David saying, Stewart, I want to have your babies and I'm straight. He then says, the cancer man.
That's it.
Cancer
It's
man.
cigarette smoking man.
Favourite episode, The Field Where I Died. Brilliant.
I don't
I
know that
can't
one.
say
I
that I
really-
know specifically that one, but I'm sure Stuart, as the expert in residence on the X-Files, you'll know exactly what episode that was.
Well,
The
Duncan.
cracker. What was your favourite episode, Jack?
Ah, I liked the one that was like the end of one of the series. It was like they were in a desert or something, and then they found an alien. It was like the cliffhanger, and then it was a 3-parter, and then in the next series they started it off again. And I think it was the first
one.
one to have that guy chasing them with the black eyes. You know, the
Clone.
the clone guy.
It's cool.
Yeah, so that's my favorite. Oh, and also the film, not the first one, the second one that came out way after anyone sort of was thinking about the X-Files, and it had Billy Connolly as the main villain in it. So there you go. Scottish connection is always needed.
Absolutely.
Greatest comedian.
Ken says, I'm the cigarette smoking man, but to be clear, the brand is unidentified frying objects.
I was going to say, Duncan, you don't really know much about the X-Files, but you're the man for Andromeda.
I do like a bit of Andromeda, but I couldn't tell you the name of any of the episodes. But certainly Andromeda, up until they landed on that planet and got stuck there for a couple of seasons, it was good. After that, it was terrible.
And Lex is also good.
Lex is amazing.
It's
It's very graphic and very weird. And it's got a great cast.
Stanley Tweedle. Yeah, check out Lex if you get the chance.
It was on Amazon Video at one point. I don't know if it's still there.
The
But yeah,
Amazon plugs just keep coming.
I know. But it's definitely worth watching. It's a German-Canadian production, if you don't know what it is. It's very weird.
Can I just say, starting from next week, we've got a new new system coming up where if you subscribe to Amazon Prime, you get our stream for free. Otherwise, it's going behind a paywall. Anyway, carry on, Duncan.
Daniel's asking, well, question for Jack. What happened to your afternoon video?
I like when I do videos, I like to sort of keep you guessing. So I like to not put sound on them, and then hope that you can lip read what I'm saying.
What were you saying?
I was trying to just do a quick live video to remind people that we're on tonight instead of tomorrow. But
Instead of
I
last
saw that
night?
everyone was like, "There's no sound. What's going on? What's the matter? Are you all right?" So I just deleted it.
That's complicated. It is complicated, this sort of stuff. Good question.
Indeed. Folk were singing along to Finnegan's Wake. Ken says, shave and a haircut, 2 bits. Amy Hopkinson says, Finnegan's Wake always plays out like a still game episode in my head. That's quite a nice little visual. Which one's... whose wake is it, though?
Eric.
Eric, you reckon?
Sorry, that's a bit sad, wasn't it? Let's move on.
Okay, well, David says, I am Gormtastic. Well, good for you. We all are. Today and tomorrow and the next day, there's nothing else to do except be a Gorm, really, these days, is there?
Gormkin.
Gormkin, Gormlings, everywhere. What would you like us to play? What are we going to play?
Well, I'm thinking, speaking of Gormkin, or a Gormlin, this is probably, other than us, the number one Gormlin. This is Gormy, who introduced the
Gormy.
show today. And he also did a little message for you in the week to tell you that this was on. So he's getting more active. He's coming out his shell. And yeah, it's got that scripted. I don't need that bit of paper anymore. And so, yeah, he's going to be featuring in this song, The Tortoise, which we're going to play now.
He was just a lonely tortoise looking for a home. His tiny feet were blistered from the miles he had to roam. I saw him in the pet shop, on his cheek there was a tear, and painted on his little shell, 20 pence to clear. He's a faithful friend, the tortoise, he'll love you till the end. And you won't need a person with a tortoise for a friend. I took him from the pet shop, tied to a piece of string. I'm sure that he was happy, for I thought I heard him sing. I took him to my sports car, we had many a mile to go. I tied him to the bumper, he was grateful for the tow. He's a faithful friend, the tortoise, he'll love you till the end. And you won't need a person with a tortoise for a friend. In winter, we would hibernate, oh yes, we'd both retire. And when his little feet got cold, I'd place him on the fire. In summer, by the swimming pool, I was so proud of him. I'd throw him in, and he would sink. I don't think he could swim. He's a faithful friend, the tortoise, he'll love you till the end. And you won't need a person with a tortoise for a friend. During COVID lockdown, we would both wear our masks. I wear the N95, he wears a plastic bag. When we go to Asda, I stand beside the door. One shopper per household, he can carry more. He's a faithful friend, the tortoise, he'll love you till the end. You won't need a person with a tortoise for a friend. Then came the day that's coming to all creatures great and small. A drunken driver hit my friend and smashed him against the wall. We all gathered round and picked up his broken bits of shell. We made them into plectrums, we know our plectrums well. A faithful friend, the tortoise, he'll love you till the end. You won't need a person with a tortoise for a friend.
Gormy!
There we are, folks. And there we go. I think that was the first video that Gormy was ever in.
I think you're right. And since then, he's become a bit of a superstar, really, hasn't he? He's on this show every week. A meteoric rise to fame.
He's sort of starting to overtake us a bit. I'm getting a bit worried.
I think so, aye.
I don't know. I think we need to put a stop to this. In case he gets too
Well,
popular.
There's no really any other candidates for the job.
So who made Gormy? Well, it came up at the end of the video.
Gormy was gifted to us by two friends from Germany, Karen and Ruth, who I first met playing with Celtica. As I met them at various festivals, and they've come to see us when we've been on tour in Germany. They come to see us in Bonn at the Fiddler's Arms. Was that the name of the place?
Fiddlers.
Yeah.
Fiddlers, aye. I think they saw us somewhere else as well. But yeah, Gormy came to us from them.
Oh,
Here's his plectrums, his shell.
he's got a hole in him now. Have you shot him?
Weird, what do you mean?
He's got a hole. It might look green to you, but there's a see-through hole on his shell.
Oh yeah, that's one of his plectrums. That's one of his shell bits. Gormy,
Have you been treating him all right? Should I look after him?
No, he's fine here. He's fine here.
Right.
He gets to the shops once a week. Takes him a week to do it, you know. And he doesn't complain, so.
Good.
Well, you got some more music to play us, Jack. Is that right?
Yeah, so there's a song, a tune called "The Harvest Home." So this is a version of me playing it that I thought I could share with you. Here we are.
Cracking. Absolutely
Wonderful
Barry
stuff.
like.
There you are. Just something a bit different there. Wee instrumental for you. A hornpipe. What's a hornpipe, Duncan? Can you explain that?
A hornpipe is a traditional dance style to begin with. It's in 2/4 time. It's got a the idiom gives it a very strong first beat and a weaker second beat, so it swings. So you got that dum dee dum dee dum dee dum dee. It pulls backwards and forwards. It kind of rocks.
It does rock.
It does rock. Yeah, and there are a couple of different speeds of hornpipe. Quite often in sessions you hear them played really fast, but it is a dance, so depending on which specific dance you're playing for, dictates the speed and actually nothing else. But yeah, pipers tend to play them at 100 miles an hour, and everybody else a wee bit slower. But yeah, it's a traditional style of music associated with a specific dance.
There you go.
Well, speaking of dance, last week I brought to you the attention of a fantastic musical number, which is performed by a guy called Meat Loaf, who, if you've watched the film with Bradley Pitt, Ed Norton, the famous film, which is called Arna Malcolm's fantastic film of Meat Loaf and Ed Norton and Bradley Pitt, then yeah, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I wanted to continue with the sort of musical theme this week. So this might be a little bit small for you folks at home to see, but Jack, I don't know, can you see that? Can you see what I'm showing you here?
It looks like Mickey Mouse.
It is Mickey Mouse, and who else is there, Jack? Right next to him?
Minnie Mouse.
Minnie Mouse.
Minnie Mouse. Now,
Lots and ducks.
yeah, do you notice anything strange about what Mickey Mouse is wearing, Jack?
Trainers. Are they
Uh-huh.
Slippers.
What's on the bottom of the trainers, though, Jack?
Oh, they're ice skates.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's right, Jack.
Is it?
Oh, right.
Oh, there we go. It all makes sense now.
Ah.
Walt Disney's World on Ice.
I
And
didn't
there
see that
are
twist
Chippendales. Yeah, and they've got their ice skates on. Absolutely everyone, even the Little Mermaid doesn't have ice skates on, obviously, doesn't have legs. But Baloo's got ice skates on, and this was one of the best shows that I've ever seen in my life. I went to see it in a place called Aberdeen. So not Aberdeen, Washington, but the Aberdeen Exhibition Centre, which is in Scotland, in the northeast. As you can see, there they are, some lovely ladies and all the Disney characters. I went to see this when I was quite young, so this was late 2000s. I went to see this one. Absolutely phenomenal show. And they were, as you can imagine, Disney dancing on ice. Now, in Disney, there's a load of cool characters. You'll know most of them. They've been
Goofy.
remaking a bunch of the Disney. But Goofy is pretty good. Like, he was there. But I wanted to show you, well, there's two pictures I want to show you of my favorite Disney character. My favorite Disney film is probably Who Framed
Roger Rabbit.
Not technically a
Framed
Disney
Roger
film,
Rabbit.
but I think later acquired by them or something like that.
Well, let's not nitpick here, Jack, because this is Disney's Dancing on Ice, and Roger Rabbit is quite clearly in it. So first of all, I want to show you. There she is. So earlier on, we had Gillian Anderson, and that's going to be quite small for you Gormlings at home, but that is Jessica Rabbit. Jessica Rabbit was the girlfriend of Roger Rabbit, who at first, well, she loved him, but, you know, the mobsters, the Americans, typical Americans, they were involved, and they were making it very difficult for her. But when I went and saw it, that was Jessica Rabbit. Okay, so she wasn't
real. She was real.
She was real, which was quite weird because in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, most of the characters were cartoons, and Jessica Rabbit was a cartoon as well. And in Disney on Ice, most of the characters, as you can see, were cartoons, but she was real. And if you look, she had a smashing pair of ditties. And that really made the show for me because I was quite, you know, at the time I was impressionable like that. Not like now. And there's Beast. He's one of my favorites as well. Beauty and the Beast, which of course was remade recently with a new song, and it was absolutely brilliant. So, a great musical. If you ever have the chance to catch this one, Walt Disney's World on Ice, and maybe you're one of these stuck-up sort of people who says, I don't like that. I like dancing on ice. I like seeing British politicians dancing and embarrassing themselves. Well,
way better than Mickey Mouse.
Oh, I would disagree. I think you're missing out big time, and there's not enough I can say. And look at that. If you do go, try to get the cast from 1994, which is when I went to see it. So there we go. Baloo as well, and Mickey's obviously there. Sebastian, he was in The Little Mermaid. And these guys were in DuckTales, I think, which I never really liked too much. I didn't like Scrooge.
I thought he was he was kind of offensive to the Scottish people, I would say.
He was, yeah.
He was a stereotype. He was a miser, you know, and he was just swimming about in money, which is just a complete caricature.
But, you know, Scrooge McDuck was... When Walt Disney came to Edinburgh, he went to the Canongate graveyard and he saw the gravestone of Adam Smith's nephew, who was called Ebenezer Lennox Scroggie, meal merchant. And Walt Disney saw that, and that inspired him to write the famous character Scrooge McDuck. So there you go, Scottish connection.
It was nothing to do with Charles Dickens then?
No.
Not sure who that is, but I'm sure the chat will be sure to let us know. That's all I've got for you tonight, guys. I'm sorry I didn't play a hornpipe or any shite like that. But,
well, it's all right. We've got more questions for you.
Let's see what the Gormlins are saying.
Malta is asking, if the Gorms were superheroes, what would your superpowers be?
Turn water into wine. No. Yeah, the water in the wine.
I don't know. I think something that's really obscure that no one would think of, like flying. I would quite like to have that as my. I'd like to fly.
Flying would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, it would really only.
No, it wouldn't.
That's why Superman can fly, because it's cool.
Stop in time for me.
Stopping time. See,
Stopping time.
time stuff I'm always not sure about because we don't really know how it works, and it's
We're talking about imaginary superpowers.
well, people can fly clearly, but time, that's crossing a line.
Simon
there.
Magus. Simon Magus could fly. He was trying to impress the Emperor Nero, and he was flying around. He's always levitating. Simon Magus. He fell. He broke his legs. Like stopping time. That reminds me of that film. I didn't see it, but everyone was talking about it when all the buildings were moving. I think Leonard was in it.
Inception.
Inception.
The guy from Third Rock from the Sun. Yeah, that reminds me of that one. We saw how that ended up, didn't we? All the buildings came down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll be sorry if that happens. If that's your superpower, Duncan.
Exactly.
Just be careful.
That wasn't about stopping time though, so much as dreaming.
Same thing.
Okay.
Tomato.
Fair enough. Daniel Spee reckons that we already have one, and it's playing music.
Ah,
So let's go with that.
I haven't thought about that, but
That's probably
thanks,
a better
Daniel.
one. If I could play all the instruments in the world and play everything I wanted, that would be a great superpower.
And you're already on your way.
Yeah, but that's not a superpower. That's called practice. Takes a lot fucking longer. Sorry, Jack, to pile more on. We had some more song requests. I don't know if you're going to be able to fit any.
We're
of these
going to
into
have to narrow it down a bit, though.
The already full track list. David was asking for Willie McBride, Ken, the Vicar and the Frog.
Well, that's easy because we don't have recordings of either of those two, so that narrows it down.
So we've narrowed it down.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
That's okay. If there's any more, I will shout them out. Caroline's asking if I've broken Gormy. No, I haven't broken Gormy. He's got a magic
I'm not
plectrum.
sure. I don't think you're treating him right.
He's fine.
PDSA.
He's fine. See, he quite happily sits on my shoulders while I'm playing.
Is that a
pipes.
tear rolling down his cheek there?
No, it's not at all. Not at all. I'll put him back down. He's no very good. He's not got very good balance. Ken says, "Well done, Jack. Thanks for that masterclass."
Ah, cheers, Ken.
Tragedy says, "Happy Beltane, Gormkin. Happy Beltane. Is that today or is it yesterday? 30th of April, was it? Or is it both?
I think it might have been yesterday.
David
Not
Lee
sure.
Smith accidentally pressed something on his keyboard. David, then he says, where WTF is Goofy. I think we covered that, did you?
Where is Goofy or what is Goofy?
Where? Oh no, it could be.
Oh, well, we never saw Goofy in the
Could
thing.
be where or it could be what. I don't know. He's not a dog, so maybe it's a what rather than a where.
What is he then?
I don't know. Johanna says, "Oh, Disney on Ice. My stepfather actually coordinated that when it toured in Sweden way back when." So
Nice.
there you go, Stu. You could have gone and seen it in Stockholm instead.
That is cool. I'm just looking for Goofy, sorry.
Okay, well, carry on. I'll carry on here. Caroline says, "I had a lovely tortoise for 10 years called Mickey. He died last summer,
Ties in.
and we had just had coronavirus. I
Oh,
was really upset. I had given him the virus, but I was assured by an expert that reptiles couldn't catch it. Just thought I'd share." So,
sorry
good
to hear
know.
that.
Anyone who does have a pet reptile, they are not in danger. Okay?
There's Goofy there.
There's Goofy.
Looks quite terrifying, actually, in that picture.
Well, so far, David said he's not a dog, he's not a bear. Ken says he's a hockey player. You can tell by the missing front teeth. David Lee Smith, I think he's hit on the head. He's a DHM.
Ah,
Exactly.
yes,
There we are.
indeed.
DHM cited.
See,
That's great, isn't it?
Pluto, or I always get confused between Pluto the dog
And
for
Pluto,
Disney and Bluto the guy for Popeye. Is Bluto the guy
Easy
for
mistake to
Popeye in
make.
there?
was Popeye Disney?
No.
I didn't think
Dan
so.
Aykroyd.
The great Disney cartoon character.
God, this is gold. This is good stuff. This is the best
Oh.
stream yet, I would say.
Johanna's asking what our favourite Disney soundtracks are. Go. Jungle Book. It's got to be the Jungle Book. Classic.
I don't know. I like that one.
Bare Necessities and The King of the Jungle.
I'm more into the
King of
modern
Summers,
ones, like anything with like Tim Rice and Elton John. You know.
Lion King's a good one.
Yeah. I don't know.
What about you? So you must have...
Robin Hood.
Oh, the Fox one. That's a great soundtrack. Rewatched that no that long ago. Well, maybe a year ago.
Oh, grow up, Duncan.
What are you watching that for? Cartoons?
Sometime during the time that we were stuck at home, I rewatched that. Oh, Ken's got.
Did you like it?
Fantasia. That's a good one.
Yeah. Nah, I don't know. It's a bit
Not
scary.
convinced.
Bit much.
That's quite good, that one, actually. Because it's very musical. It's very, like, more abstract. There's not as much of a story to it. It's not abstract, but it's more just like vignettes rather than...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody remembers probably the Sorcerer's Apprentice one with Mickey Mouse running around after all the mops and buckets and that.
There you go. Tron is another good Disney film.
Did you like the sequel? What was it called? Tron.
I never saw
Reloaded
that.
or
2.
Tron. Was it called Tron 2? I thought it had a subtitle.
Tron 2.
Tron was when they're on
The
the bikes,
Return.
right?
Aye, and
I think
inside the
I think
computer.
I did see Tron.
The
I
first
prefer
one was
Blade
good.
Runner, to be honest. The edgier.
I'm more into, like, adult films with, like, you know...
We know that.
well, action and,
Seen
you
you in a
know...
few.
The ones that you watch
Scary
on
things.
on the internet.
I fell into that one.
Action films. You like action films?
Just things that are a bit more mature than the kind of stuff Duncan watches, you know.
Okay,
Like,
right.
scary stuff that, you know, you can't just be a kid to watch this kind of stuff, you know. Or you will not be able to
Alright.
get to sleep at night.
Yeah, but you watch Freddy Krueger, you wet the bed. Don't make on you some hard man now. You watched Lady and the Tramp and you cried at the end when you thought the wee dog was dead.
Everybody does.
Sorry,
that.
I mean, that's fine. But I still watch, you know, RoboCop and stuff.
Oops. Daniel's saying, "Do you mean Let It Go from Frozen? I'd love to hear Stu sing that." There you go. There's your project for next week. Record yourself singing "Let It Go" from Frozen.
That's a great one. And I am actually speaking at the a climate summit up here in the northwest quite soon. For the opposite, it's been awful cold up here, so we're hoping to heat things up. So I'll probably be throwing copies of Frozen into a barbecue as a sort of statement against that.
Fair enough.
Okay.
A bit cold here, sorry.
So you're going to burn books or DVDs,
It's not a
rather?
book. It's not a book. It's a DVD.
It's a
not burning
Blu-ray.
books. Fahrenheit 451. No, I'll actually be burning VHSs, okay? Because no one uses them anymore.
It's burning USB sticks with the film illegally downloaded onto it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
But then you'd be creating lots and lots of toxic smoke, wouldn't you?
That's the idea. We need it
Someone's
to
gotta
heat
do
up.
Okay, got it.
Warm up the northwest of Scotland, man. It's freezing. And the world be damned.
Well, that could be your superpower. David Lee Smith said his superpower
Global
would
warming,
be...
man.
No, he said his would be playing as well as the Gorms or the Goodums.
I love the Goodums as well. They're brilliant.
If your superpower could just simply be to heat up the northeast of Scotland
Mhm.
without resorting to burning DVDs, surely that would be a good thing.
To a kind of dangerous level, you'd be more of a super villain, really.
I mean, you've been known to say that Peterborough is like the Magaluf of the north, so you give it the weather to match.
Well, here's hoping, man. I mean, I don't know if long term if it's a good idea, but certainly a nice summer that'd be good, you know. Do you see Bill Gates is building a tower to block out the sun?
I thought he was
We'll talk
building a
about that
ladder
next
to the
week.
moon.
No, that was Jacob.
Okay.
We'll talk about it next week, I guess.
Okay. Let's see what's happening in the chat. Trisha D says that they celebrate Beltane on May the 1st, this side of the pond, or that side of the pond. So there we go.
Great.
And our favourite soundtrack from Disney is The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Ah,
I'm not quite so familiar
good
with
one.
that one. I think I have
Good
watched it,
suggestion.
but
it's a bit after our time, that one.
it was a wee bit after our time.
That's more for my age group.
Well, like
I love
that
John.
bit of time where you stop watching kids' films before you grow up and start watching kids' films.
Speak for
I
yourself.
thought you would have liked. I thought you'd have sort of related to Quasimodo, Jack. No.
No, I related to the handsome guy, the
That handsome guy.
What was his name? Gustav, or was that a different one?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Nailed it. There we go.
Extensive knowledge here, guys.
Martin Johnson says Hercules had a great soundtrack. That was a good one.
Hercules was really good.
with Kevin
And of course,
Sorbo.
we're talking about Andromeda earlier. Kevin Sorbo got banned from Twitter. I don't know what he did. I'll have to look into it, but I did see that he'd been banned. He sent me a message. He was absolutely furious.
He probably tried to write another screenplay or something.
I think he was talking about saying he was going to miss the Gorms stream or something.
Well, I mean, that's enough
what-
to get you banned, definitely.
Delete.
David says his favourite Disney soundtrack's Bat Out of Hell.
That is a good one. That's in Fantasia, I think.
Beauty and the Beast, maybe.
Oh, wait. Right, how's this going to work? Stuart, can you see the messages? Because David would like you to read it out. The next one.
Is there any way?
I
to
don't
actually
have
do
the
that?
technology.
Maybe I
don't
can
I
just
don't think I have the
text it to
technology.
you.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
You could take a
Yeah, that could
screenshot and
work if
text
you-
it.
Hang on, but this is
Send
gonna
it on
work.
Grinder.
I'm sure this is
I've
going to
got that
work.
up at the moment.
Can I send it to... You've got WhatsApp, eh?
No, but I'm on one of the dating apps, the same one you are.
Have you got a fax there?
Hang on. Here we go.
Thanks, but
Okay, the fax will come through. to you
Okay,
soon.
I just set it to the business account.
okay.
So you
Well,
have to
Duncan,
I got it as
let's
well.
have,
read that.
let's have a round of applause because I've received it.
Excellent.
Can we hear the audience actually doing a wee round of applause? Because that technology that we use to hear what they have to say. Is there any way to tune in? Ah,
There we go. Oh, there we go.
nice.
Excellent. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Oh, I just closed it down. Daniel
I've
says
seen
his favourite would...
things.
Oh, sorry. Carry on.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die. I think that was from Dream Quest with Jennifer Jameson. I'm not sure. I hope you enjoyed that, Daniel. That rocked your soul.
David, no, it was from David.
Oh, sorry, David.
That's
So
good.
many D's. So many D's. But Daniel does say that his favourite would be Beauty and the Beast, Be Our Guest. Classic.
Oh, I remember that one.
Ken says Beauty and the Beast was a good soundtrack. Angela Lansbury is a hot little teapot. Well, there you go. Hot little teapot. Speaking of, sorry, folks. Speaking of soundtracks and music, have we not got some kind of something like that we recorded ourselves?
Music.
Some kind of music. That was not actually or does not yet belong to Disney.
I forgot that we even do that. I thought we were just chat show hosts now. Yeah, would anyone like some burns?
Yeah.
Clear the
How
pa-
hot?
I
How hot?
always cleanse my palate with a bit of burns, you know, after Flights of Fancy, talking about Disney, talking about X-Files, stuff like that. Every time I think about that, I need to get a little bit of burns to
Well, before you
put
play
me
the
down
track,
to earth.
Joanna says, have to leave you guys for my night shift, but thanks for tonight. See y'all next week.
Cheers, Johanna.
So see you next week, Johanna. Enjoy your night shift. You're not going to miss much, don't worry.
Alright, should we get some burns? Parcel
burns.
of Rogues.
Parcel of Rogues. Oh,
Now,
that's a cracking tune.
I
One of my
remember,
favourites.
Duncan, when we had a reunion, you know, after being estranged as children, we were at college and we were in a band that did a version of this. And I won't name names, but how did one of those band members spell this tune?
So rather than... Because he made a poster, I believe, for a gig or something we were doing. And he'd written the band name as, rather than Parcel of Rogues, Parkle of Rouges.
Or Rouges, I thought. Yeah, yeah.
Well, Rouge.
You could call
with
it
this one.
Rouges.
It's not a word anyway.
So, here we go. And I'm pretty sure that was a guy who wanted to play drums but ended up playing keyboard.
Yeah, I think could be right.
And I think he cried about it, but not going to name names. But anyway, so here we go. Parkle of Rouges.
Here we'll take all our Scottish fame. I farewell ye ancient glory, and farewell even to the Scottish name. I say famed in martial story, and whose sack runs o'er the Solway sands, and Tweed runs to the ocean. Temac where England's province stands, such a parcel of rogues in the nation. What force or guile could ne'er subdue? I threw many warlike ages. It is wrought now by the coward few, for a hireling traitor's wages. The English steel we could disdain, secure in Vather station. Oh, but English gold, it has been our bane, such a parcel of rogues in the nation. And my old grey head had lain in clay, I we Bruce and loyal Wallace, but force or Dane that e'er could sway for a freedom that couldn't sell us, but pith and power till my last hour. I'll make this declaration: we are bought and sold for English gold, such a parcel of rogues in the nation. Well, all folk songs have a meaning, but sometimes the meaning is hard to discern. Take this song, for example. It's called Matthew Groves, and it's all about a young man called just that, Matthew Groves, or Matty to his friends. Now, we're his friends, so let's call him Matty Groves. Young Matthew, he went into church one morning, like all good men should, and after the meeting was finished, he was approached by a woman. She said, "Come away tonight with me, Matthew. We'll have a great time, just you and me. We'll spend the whole night together." He said, "Aye, I will," but of course in his English accent. But then he noticed upon her fingers wedding rings. She was married. He realised she was married to none less than Lord Darnall, the local landlord. However, being a God-fearing man was not enough for Matthew. He wanted to be something more. So the two of them took flight. And after a night of passion, when Matthew awoke, he realised his sins. But worse, Lord Darnall knew of his sins, for there, at the foot of the bed, was her husband, Lord Darnall.
Cracking. That's better. A bit of music. It's a bit
Absolutely.
more professional.
Always good to have some burns.
Yeah, Caroline says, couldn't give a toss about Disney. Agree, let's have some burns. Well, there we go. Have a good shift, Johanna, and happy Beltane. Also from Caroline.
Nice one. How many people have we
have
got
any more,
watching? 11 viewers.
Yeah, it's fluctuated a wee bit.
It's not the biggest turnout tonight. It's almost like it's the first Saturday where people are out drinking or something.
Well, everyone can always catch up on YouTube afterwards, and of course, there's going to be more next week.
Did I see that we got an email during that song, Duncan?
We did. We got an email from James Adeleke. If you can think it, we can web
James.
it.
Hello, James
Hello,
Adeleke.
James.
Excellent.
Says, hi, I am writing this message on behalf of my company. I am a business development manager and lead a team of over 100 plus IT professionals. We deal in web apps development, website development, mobile app development, social media design, digital marketing, content marketing, SEO, and other IT related services. Is there anything you are interested in? Connect with me via mobile number, Skype, Google Meet, WhatsApp call, FB Messenger with your requirements. Also,
Great. What's his mobile number?
Didn't supply any of those things.
Okay.
Also reply with your preferable time and time zone so that I do not disturb you in the middle of the night. Thanks and regards,
That's
James
nice of him.
Adeleke. P.S. Let
great.
me know your requirements. I assure you an instant replay.
Well, thanks a lot, Mr. Adeleke.
I
That's
thought we were
fantastic.
going to get a song request in amongst that, but apparently not.
I mean, it's nice that he's thinking about us, that he will only phone us in the middle of the night. I'm interested in that. I think that sounds good. Thanks for contacting us.
We'll have a chat about that once we get off the air, I suppose. And it's almost time to get off the air. The dogs are howling to get back in. Do you want to play another song and we'll come back and start to wrap things up? What do you think, guys?
Let's have some more music. Let's have one off the new album, Bonnie
good
Lass of
idea.
Ivy, the epic version.
There once was a troop of Irish dragoons come marching down through 5EO, and the captain's fallen in love with a very bonny lass. Her name it was cried Pretty Peggy, oh. There's money's a bonny lass, and the horse a what a loss. Money's a bonny lass in the Geary, oh. There's money's a bonny Jean on the streets o' Aberdeen. The flower o' the mall bites and 5EO. Come down the stairs, oh Peggy, oh my dear. Come down the stairs, Pretty Peggy, oh. Oh, come down the stairs and tie up your yellow hair. For a last fair home we'll to your daddy, oh. There's money's a bonny lass in the halls o' Wakerless. Money's a bonny lass in the Geary, oh. Money's a bonny Jean on the streets o' Aberdeen. The flower o' the mall bites and 5EO. It's bro a captain's lady for to be. And it's bro to be a captain's lady, oh. It's bro to ride around and to follow at his earn. And ride when your captain he is ready, oh. There's money's a bonny lass in the halls o' Wakerless. There's money's a bonny lass in the Geary, oh. There's money's a bonny Jean on the streets o' Aberdeen. The flower o' the mall bites and 5EO. the halls of Waterloss. There's money's a bonny lass in the Kia-rio. There's money's a bonny Jean on the streets of Aberdeen, but the flower o' the mall bites in 5-AO. Mount, cries the colonel. Mount, boys, mount. Nae time to tarry, nae hear me, oh. You can tarry for a while, another day or two, and see if this bonny lass will marry you. There's money's a bonny lass in the halls of Waterloss. Money's a bonny lass in the Kia-rio. There's money's a bonny Jean on the streets o' Aberdeen. The flower o' the mall bites in 5-AO. 'Twas in the early morning when we marched awa, and oh, but the captain he was sorry, oh. The drums they did beat, oh, the bonny bays a geet. The band played a bonny lass a 5-AO. There's money's a bonny lass in the halls of Waterloss. Money's a bonny lass in the Kia-rio. There's money's a bonny Jean on the streets o' Aberdeen. The flower o' the mall bites in 5-AO. Well, long ere we come to old Meldrum tune, we had our captain to carry home. And long ere we come to bonny Aberdeen, we had our captain to bury. So low lie the fields on bonny heath and side, low lie the lowlands of 5-AO. Our captain he is dead, he's died for a maid, he died for the bonny lass of 5-AO. That's why there's money's a bonny lass in the halls of Waterloss. Money's a bonny lass in the Kia-rio. There's money's a bonny Jean on the streets o' Aberdeen. The flower o' the mall bites in 5-AO.
You can't leave someone to live in that kind of condition. Like, it's awful. We're back.
We're live.
Okay, good. Oh, cracking. Well, it's been a lovely evening, Duncan. I got to say, you've been on a really good form tonight. Danced around the maple during all these songs. Yeah, you've been absolutely fantastic.
Sitting here twiddling my thumbs, pressing buttons.
How's the audience doing? Can we go live to the audience reaction?
We can.
Just before you do, let me say thank you to Malta Kamerling for sending us £20. That's really good of you. Thank you. And Sarah Kresinowski sent us £10. So cheers, Sarah.
Thank you very
really
much.
Appreciated. Glad you could tune in.
Thanks, folks. Can we get a live reaction for those donations?
Come on.
Going live to the audiences around the world. Oh,
It takes me a while to tune into them. I have to find the signal, you know.
can you tune in on Caroline's response to the Disney chat?
I'm sure I can.
Okay, Caroline, make some noise.
Fuck. I don't know if I can.
Oh,
Dead air, Duncan.
disappointing.
Sorry. I think I'm looking in the wrong place.
Well, okay.
I
guess the signal's not too good up in Kirkcaldy. Oh,
that's not the right thing.
Well, that's good enough. Reaction.
Oh, wait.
That's
There we go. Alright. Wasn't it that bad?
It's like being back in the whiskey bar.
That's quite a good thing to say to a heckler if you were doing a gig or something. All right, it wasn't that bad. Just kind of sort of admit that it is bad, but
Better than
not as bad as what they say.
better than chasing folk out the door. Well,
Indeed.
I guess it's time for us to wrap up for this evening. If you've got any thoughts to add, Jack, then hold them. Duncan, have we got any messages we need to address before we get out of here tonight?
Daniel Spee says, shout out to all the people who couldn't make it. And Ken shared a recipe for a new scone recipe, Cranakin. Double cream toasted pinhead oats and freeze-dried raspberries. They're okay, but I'll improve the recipe. Got to get the malt flavour in them without overpowering it.
Cranakin scones?
Scones, aye. Daniel's asking it to
I've
be
got a good
shared.
recipe.
Caroline said
I've got a
having
recipe to share with you.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I tried it for the first time this morning. I was making my coffee in a coffee machine, filter like you get in America. And I put in 3 little sprinkles of cinnamon. And it was brilliant.
Treating yourself.
Cinnamon coffee.
I just
Try it
usually
yourself,
put
folks,
salt
if you
in
like it.
mine.
I did that by accident once. It's really not a good idea.
That's pretty good. If you're Scottish, you should be putting salt in your food, I think. Instead of sweet
Not in your
things.
coffee, though.
Instead of sweet things.
Okay. Ken
Great
said
recipe, Ken.
he'll pass on a photo to the Gorms email along with the recipe. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. Malta is asking, is Stormin Norman the older gentleman who gives political speeches in the Ensign Europe during your songs? Yes, he is.
Yes. Norman's doing good. In fact, I actually got a message from Norman just a moment ago, and he does watch these. He's in the morgue. He's been in the morgue apparently since coronavirus kicked in. But he did send me a message. I should probably read that out so that he'll see it. Here we go. Well, which actually is quite a lot of them here. Let's go for this one.
Just do the ones
Hello?
that you'll be allowed to do on live stream.
That's what I was worried about. Hello, O hairiest of hairiest. Cracking game against France. Prints are on the way in a lube. Hope all is okay in the picked lands. Keep in touch. Love, the living corpse. So there we go. So that sounds like Norman's doing just fine and dandy.
Hello, Norman, if you're watching.
Jings.
So David has sent us a novel, which we don't really have time to
Let me see.
go into this week, I don't think.
A novel?
Just let it roll.
I think this is something that Stu should read out next week. Or maybe we'll get your maybe we can make a wee video of you saying this.
That is long.
Some candlelight. I'm just gonna make sure that I've got this saved so that we don't lose it. Oh, that's music. I've opened the wrong thing. What's this?
So yeah. Dead air.
Moses got pictures. Well, Jack, I did ask if you had anything to add. Have you got anything you want to share with us? Any plans for this week? I know you've had a pretty exciting week so far. You were collecting some shells and some stones down by the beach.
Yeah, I kind of doing that. I like doing that and sort of just counting them when I get home and making sure there's an even number of them. Because if there's an odd number, I get really angry.
Set any fires this week? Any bin fires or that?
No, I've never done that. I don't do that kind of thing. But it does happen quite a lot around my area.
Yeah, wherever you are. Yeah.
Okay, I've got that thing saved.
Okay.
Oops.
So was that?
So David sent a very long message, but we're running out of time. So I think we might. I'll see if I can grab Stu and record him doing a wee.
Have you got
speech.
a spare couple of hours to do
It's
that
no,
recording?
it's not that long. It's not that long. I'm sure we could manage it.
You could slow it down once it's recorded and make it last the entire length of the next stream. Yeah.
Eileen says, "Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend."
Thank you, Eileen.
Caroline said, "Stewart, quite a difference between Killiecrankie and Kirkcaldy." Pascal says, have a nice Sunday, stay safe and take care. You
Same
too.
to you.
Malta says, good to hear. Daniel says, great stream as always. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, everyone.
Same to you, Malta.
Same to you. And that's the end of the show this week, I think, is it? Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Cook?
Only to say, from the bottom of my heart, from all the way from the tips of my toes to the back of my braid, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you all in the flesh as soon as possible. Not in a sort of bizarre fashion, not in a Bing or torturous way, but just in face-to-face as well. I kind of scuppered that, didn't I? No, I've nothing to add. Thanks for asking.
Are we back next Saturday?
Yes.
Next Saturday. We'll see you here next Saturday, not next Friday, next Saturday. For
I like making these arrangements on stream before
Yeah, me too.
before we actually figure out what we're doing.
Okay, so scratch that. There may be an update, but we'll
It's
see
fine.
you next-
I can do it.
We'll see you next week.
Or next
anyway.
Saturday. Looking forward to it. All right, I'll see you in Kirk tomorrow, boys.
All right.
Okay.
Let's just get a bit of Take the High Road on.
Absolutely. Best outro music ever.